All right, we're live. How are you, Rajiv?
I am awesome. Nick, how are you?
Good myself. So today we're going to be talking about August market update of the real estate market. Apologies, everyone, if we're a little bit late. We had some technical difficulties. So we're going to start now. I'm just going to go straight to the slides and move from there.
And remember, we got to also touch on what the mortgage rate news is out there today.
Yes,
Everybody
that's very
sending
important
emails.
as well.
Banks, everybody sending us emails.
Perfect. Just on your side, Rajiv, do you see my slides? So just
Yes,
want to
I
make sure
do.
that awesome, so everyone can see that as well. So yeah, the market insight. We're going to be talking about jumping straight to the average sale price, as we're going to see right
Yes.
now. The GT average is a million 80, just under a million 80, and from 2020, from last year in 2021, it has increased just under 1%, which was a million 70. So as we can see, even though the market has uh, dropped in terms of average sale price from the Q1, Q2 and three, they have been pretty consistent as well in terms of from last year and this year.
Yeah, of course. And you know it's all the market psychology because home buying and selling typically relates to human emotions, yeah, and needs and wants also come along with it. Um, so as all the borrowing cost has impacted, which is a fact, right? It has impacted the purchase decision on purchasing a home by many buyers in over the last few months. So that is also part of this. And this is where we have been looking at, when we're talking to buyers as well as sellers, that's how we are evaluating what we read in our real estate news as well as what we actually see it in the market.
Yeah. So next is the sales to new listings ratio. We're going to see a drop as well. We're seeing 53% for 2022 in August and 81% from 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything to add to that, Rajiv?
I would just say that, uh, you know, last year when the sales were happening in 2021, uh, money was virtually free for all of us to borrow from the banks, and people were going really toward after all the properties what they wanted to buy. Some were over extending themselves by buying a bigger home and a bigger in a different neighborhood, or some were downsizing based on their needs and wants as well. So it only relates to that. It is that that time market was more in high as the sellers were few in the market. The supply was so low, but the buyers were so many of them because of the cheap mortgage.
Yeah.
That
So
has eventually affected it.
yeah, man. As you can see, even though the ratio has lowered, basically a 50% ratio, the sale price is still higher than
Holding.
last year. So even though in a graph standpoint, we're seeing that little drop, but in price wise, the demand dropped, but the price has still hanged on. So even though we're in
Yeah.
that dip on that pricing, it's still higher than that up of last year, because last year the demand was a lot higher, but the price was technically lower than this one. So
Yeah. What it also tells me, Nick, is that end of January, February, March, 2.5 to 3 months, the graph typically anywhere in the world you see any kind of a growth or decline, they go sideways, like at an angle. But during the 2.5 months, it went at a rocket pace right up. So
yeah,
what has happened is it went up that fast, but now it has come down to a price point where it is now resisting to go further down. So it is becoming more and more balanced market.
yeah,
What we see, how the market is behaving, both for the buyers as well as sellers. Sellers are also becoming more realistic, and the buyers are, making a choice now to make a move.
yeah. Yeah, so let's go to the next slide. This is home sales and new listings. As we mentioned before, it was 53%. So you're going to see a 34% drop from last August. New listing wise, not so much. There's not really big a difference, but you're seeing on average around 10,500 is what we're seeing in August. So as mentioned, going off from the last slide as well, we have seen a dramatic drop in terms of home sales. Inventory is
Yes.
still the same though, and pricing is still relatively the same, a 1% increase. So it's still a pretty still around, I would say, minors, but market I would say is still hanging on. Furthermore, we're going to be talking about the interest rate, another interest rate which just happened today, and we'll talk more about how it affects the market. So
Yep.
in terms of breaking it down even more in terms of sales and average sale price, we're going to see in basically the 401 average sale price for detached homes is around 1.6, 905 is 1.3. So average is right here, it says 1.38. Semi-detaches in the 416 is 1.1, 905 is 940. Average sale price just under a million. Townhouses 900 in the 416, 900 basically 905. Average total is 900. Lastly, condo apartments 700 in the 416, 650 and 905 on an average of 700. So in my opinion, these are still very reachable numbers in today's market on an average sale price. We see, as you can see, in terms of the average sale price, it has dropped a little bit as well. But in everything, all the standpoint, I don't see it being crazy just because, as you can see, it's the overall of August has been an increase of average sale price between last August.
Yes, and the good part is, Nick, is that there is a real buyers and real sellers in the market at this moment.
Yeah.
They're not trying to test the market, because what also happens is when the market is really heated up the way it was, there are many people who were sellers as to trying to test the market, and things were not moving in the right direction with the buyer side. So now what we see is, yes, we see the decline in when you see minus 26, minus 30%, minus 29%, minus 37%. They look very big numbers, but they are more realistic right now. So I would say, not, it's not to be scared for anything, but be more logical into making a decision when looking at numbers.
Yeah. So as you can see too, of course, the detaches and semis price wise, they have taken a little more hit, but townhouses and condo apartments have increased. So like you see 2.6%, 6%, 905. You're going to see basically those more numbers are under $1 million, which a lot of more demand is in those. The budget of people that are under $1 million, of course, is a lot more than people that can afford a little over $1 million. You're going to see that demand is still there. Therefore, that's why there's an increase in price. Even though there has been interest rate increase, prices are still hanging in there for the sub $1 million budget homes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So basically, now we're going to be talking about the interest rate. Interest rate wise, let's talk about the statistics actually as well. While we're here, monthly stats between last year and this year wise. Show right here. As we can see, in terms of what has dropped in terms of sales wise, is mostly April, May, June, July, and August, which was completely normal based on the stats we talked about. Price wise, though, as you can see, it has increased here as well. So April, even though it has a huge drop, prices were 1.2. Same with May, 1.2 compared to 1.1. Even though there was a 4,000 3 to 4,000 sales decrease in terms of numbers here. So prices are still hanging on here. Prices still increased in June, even though the drop was been 5,000 in sales, 5,000 based in July, and that's when a little more price average has kind of come back. So I think we're still in a pretty good market right now in terms of price, in terms of for buyers to look at. Seller wise, unless you bought basically early this year and decide to, for some reason, sell now, I think you still made a lot of money in terms of the last 3 to 4 years of purchase price. So I
Yeah,
don't think you're right now in
absolutely.
basically you're sell
Yeah,
you basically bought low, sell high now, still in that ratio. And if you do decide to sell now and buy, you're basically in that same market right now in that shift.
yeah. So you know what, the crazy market is gone. When we see in January, February, in 2022, the average price, like you were talking about, look at 1.2, 1.3, 1.3, 1.2, 1.5. So all those prices for 3 to 4 months went so crazy.
Yeah.
And look at the supply. The sales were so low. So because the supply was low. So that way, I think, again, I will reiterate is that it is a very balanced market right now. Sellers who are looking to sell, they should not have any fear, and especially they should not be speculating anything, but making a more logical decision to sell. And there's nothing to be afraid of holding back that the market will go up or go down. Just make your choices based on your needs, based on your checklist. Is this the right reason for you to sell? And same thing is for buyers. You see your price, you see your property meeting your needs, go for it, because mortgage rates are done now. I think it is, there will be, even if there are 3 bits have gone, 75 bits have gone up today, that means there are people who are still locked into a certain interest rate. Take advantage of that. Save some interest, money given to the bank. So this would be the right time to now move forward.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is very important though. In this market, it's not like, as Reggie said before in the Q1, homes are taking more time to sell, and in terms of buying, is taking more time to negotiate. So it is very important right now for those that are thinking about selling or buying. For sellers, have someone that's very in tune with the market, that knows what that knows what to do in terms of how to market your property and to give you an honest opinion. I mean, like back then in Q1, maybe you can just put it up and it can sell, but now you specifically need a marketing strategy. And every market, every community is a little bit different, but you need someone that knows what they're doing in order to sell your property and get you the best value. In terms of buyers,
absolutely, and not to have the fears, Nick, for buyers. Get a home inspection done. Put the condition for home inspection. Be comfortable on buying the property you're buying, because it is going to be a sleepful night for you once you buy it and buy the property and move into the property. There's no rush.
Now you see more and more. It's common now to have conditions of, especially finance, and for seller wise too. Don't be afraid if there's a finance condition. It only secures the purchase even more if they pass the finance, just because you don't want any surprise at the end of the person cannot afford the house the day before closing. So
absolutely, as we are now seeing more and more for the sellers to understand, is also banks are also taking longer to approve. Before you used to have approval within the less than 5 business days. Now they're going up to 10 business days, so 15 business days in some cases. So it is taking time. So have patience. Don't get anxious about it. Your professionals are working in your best interest.
Yeah, 100%. So any other questions regarding to that? Of course, we can go more in detail. You can always message us on Facebook or Instagram or directly on our office line. But we can always talk about more detail. In terms of buyer-wise, now, like saying, we have more conditions-wise, but your buyer agents will have more opportunity to negotiate for you instead of just telling you to just go higher and higher until you get the price. Now, this is where you can absolutely negotiate and time to buy to secure a better pricing for you, to help you secure a better price for you when it comes to buying the next home. So in terms of, I guess there's a little bug here, but it was actually a little bit more information here. But the interest rate increased today. Today's interest rate increased by 75 basis points. So what do you think that means, Rajiv?
So I had a very interesting. First of all, first thing I will say, everybody, not to panic. Not to panic, because this increase has happened. It is just going to help people understand as to what they qualify for. It is going to take time, and it is very important for them to understand, how they are going to react to that. Another thing is what exactly it also means is it is, going from, let's say, prime rate has gone from 4.7 to 5.45, right? So that's how the TD Bank has come up with their information. So the rates have gone up. So the payments will be approximately, which I was looking at one of the articles, is going to be $43 per $1,000, $100,000 increment. Is that right?
Yeah. So yeah, so in terms of the overall interest rates too, what I would say too, what does this also mean for those investors that are watching this? In terms of, let's say, landlords, what does this mean? This means that, of course, your expenses for the mortgage are a bit higher, or especially those that need to refinance. But those are refinancing 5 years ago. Your overall price is a lot lower than compared to now. So rental prices are going to be increasing, and they already have. For instance, my client that just has a place at downtown in Grand Trunk, last year was listing around 20, or 2 years ago was around, last year was around 24. Now we're looking at like 2,700 for one plus a den. So we are seeing substantial increases. What does that mean though? In terms of what I'm seeing is buyers are going to be, buyers that originally put a hold on and see how the market's going to react. They're going to be, and we're deciding to rent, especially those first-time home buyers, are going to be now looking, hey, why am I paying $300 more for rental when I can might as well just pay more on the principal? So those who can afford that. Now, that being said, I think that in terms of the demand of the market, you're going to see in terms of especially the sub $1 million units are going to increase for sure.
So I was talking to, when I got these articles and news and everything I was reading, and I spoke to some of the mortgage specialists of different industries, banking lenders. So they have one thing very clearly said. Here, tell your clients, tell your people you're talking to, not to rush to make any changes. Do not get worried about it. Just try to understand. See how much payments are going to be increased if there is happening. See what is the rate will apply to your with the new change. What is the increase with happening? So if anybody's looking to change from converting from one mortgage to another kind, you got to understand what is the penalty is going to be. Is it worth it? Is the changing mortgage terms right now under panic situation, is it worth it over the period of amortization? How many months are remaining before you want to do those changes? So the banking specialist, they have emphasized this, that not to rush, but to understand what is behind all these changes happening. So that is where I think it is very important, Nick, that anybody who's listening to this must speak to their lender who knows the total impact, and they evaluate their rates, they evaluate their payments, and help them make the right choice.
Yeah. So yeah, that's very informational. Like I said, we are professional when it comes to transactions, but we leave in terms of the mortgage rates, things like that, the banking to professional banking professionals. So definitely reach out to them to give you better advice, and we'll walk you, and reach out to us when it comes to your time to purchase or sell. Or rent. So I think we're going to end it off here today. I think it was very good general information here. For us to go deeper diving down for you personally, it's case by case for everyone. So reach out to us directly and we can have a one-on-one chat there. So be sure to follow us at Team Rajpal at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and TikTok. And our phone number and email is right there. So any questions, please feel free to reach out. And we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week. Take care. Thanks, Nick.
Bye.